Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker is now just less than 4 months away from its official release by writer and director J.J. Abrams and Chris Terrio, as well as creator George Lucas. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you're new to the channel for future Star Wars content. Now, what's really exciting about Episode 9 is that we do know that this movie is going to be a very emotional film, as well as a very action-packed movie by JJ. In fact, JJ has stated before in the past that this movie is going to carry a lot of sacrifices and losses, and will serve as an all-out war and a war to end all wars. Even John Boyega also said this before almost a year ago about this movie. Now, on top of all of this, these past couple of weeks or so, we've been learning a whole lot more about this film, and when it all comes down to one of the concept art descriptions, this is where things begin to get very exciting for Episode 9. Now, specifically, what's really intriguing about all of this when it comes down to one of the set leaks is that it's described that one of the scenes that were filmed during the month of January of this year involved both Adam Driver and Daisy Ridley, where it's explained that they were acting on set in front of Ian McDiarmid as Emperor Palpatine. It's explained that one of the sequences involved a moment in which Adam Driver was instructed to act as if he was unconscious, where Palpatine would be laughing in the background, where Daisy Ridley as Rey rushed to Kylo's aid, where she begins to hold him in her arms, where she sheds a couple of tears. It's explained that John Williams made a special score for the scene that is said to be very emotional for the fans. One of the other sequences actually has to do with a moment that involves in which Rey stands up from Kylo Ren on the ground, where she is said to appear in rage, very much similar to what happened to Luke in Episode 6, where she ignites the Skywalker saber and runs toward Palpatine and engages in a saber duel against him, where she begins to use her anger against Palpatine, where the fight is said to be equal, where both during this fight between both Rey and Palpatine is said to be an equal match against each other, and that the scene involves prequel trilogy choreography. So let's go over a couple of parts about this. Now, we do know that Episode 9 is going to be a film that's really going to introduce lots of prequel trilogy choreography. What do I mean by that? Well, if you look at the prequels and how the lightsaber duels are done, the way the moves and the fighting styles are actually orchestrated in the movie, that's going to be used at certain points in time in Episode 9. I think that we actually got a prime example of this in the first teaser trailer, where Rey did a literal backflip above that TIE fighter coming toward her on Pisana. So that's a great example right then and there, and just a little taste of what's to come in Episode 9. So the other part that I do want to tap into here is, of course, the big hint and or indicator of Kylo Ren's death in The Rise of Skywalker. Now, I know a lot of fans are going to have mixed reactions on this, on whether or not Kylo Ren should die in The Rise of Skywalker, and whether or not it really is the best thing to do to the Skywalker bloodline. A lot of people would at the very least, hope that one of the Skywalker members would survive and live on and have a happy life. Now, in this particular scenario, we have Kylo Ren, who is said to be on the ground unconscious, portrayed by Adam Driver, where Rey runs to Kylo Ren's aid and begins to hold him in her arms, where she begins to cry and shed tears. This is where Palpatine is said to be laughing in the background. Now, as all of this happens, Rey is said to go into a phase of rage, and she runs toward Palpatine and begins to fight him. Now, from what it seems, this could very well be Palpatine's way of trying to turn Rey, to anger her and make her pretty much get all riled up and go up against Palpatine to use her dark side dormant power within her. And that's a very manipulative, type of thing for Palpatine to do. So with that being said, we do know that Palpatine does have a great interest in both Rey and Kylo Ren in a certain, way in Episode 9 that's going to be explained in great detail by JJ in this movie. And we also know that JJ said over at Star Wars Celebration and over at D23 that Palpatine really is going to be the ultimate puppet master in Episode 9 beyond any of the other films. So it really is a big deal wondering about exactly how Palpatine is going to manipulate both Rey and Kylo Ren, and exactly where that's all going to lead to when it comes down to certain decisions that Rey and Kylo Ren will make in this movie. So, Palpatine, I will say that they really do have to get this character right. We do know that Ian McDiarmid is back, which is great and all, because Ian McDiarmid is the man. He is the guy who portrays Palpatine from episode 1 all the way up until, of course, episode 6. I mean, he is Palpatine. There's no denying that. Nobody else could replace him. So, I'm very much, honored the fact that Disney and Lucasfilm were able to get him on board and to get him back on set for The Rise of Skywalker. To me, that was the best choice to do. So, the other piece that I do want to go over is how Rey is said to use the Skywalker saber against Palpatine in a battle. And this is said to be a lightsaber duel between Palpatine and Rey. Very intriguing stuff, I gotta say. I cannot wait to see how the prequel trilogy choreography will be used between Sidious and Rey on the big screen. Anyways, guys, drop a comment below. Let me know what you think about all of this in the comments. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.